So welcome to the No Filter Podcast. Back again after our illustrious Turkey Day. We all fat and happy, doing our things. Well, some of us are fat and happy. Others are just fucking fat. That wasn't an attack, Mook.
I felt like it was, bitch.
It was not an attack, sir. So we're gonna come to you today and talk about particularly as always, the caveat of in the Black community goes with anything I say. So we're gonna talk about mental health, and clearly we're gonna talk about mental health in the Black community.
Oh, well, we talking about any other? Oh, my bad. My bad. I'm sorry. I thought that was implied.
What was implied? Mental health?
That it was in the Black community. I didn't know. Never mind.
Well, no, I have to specifically state it because we have a particular set of circumstances and things that apply only to us or more frequently to us. And I can't speak on all of the communities. I'm not part of all of the communities, although I tend to identify as transracial at times. It's really not true. You okay?
No, you stupid. You fucking stupid. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue. You know what? Now I realize this is why you always interrupt my outro, because I always interrupt your intro.
Because you always interrupt my intro.
Look, it just dawned on me in that moment. I was like, oh shit, that's why he does it, because I do it to him. My bad. I apologize.
But is your apology sincere? That's the question.
It really wasn't. But I mustered it up
exactly.
From the best place. It was from the best place that I could come from at the moment. My bad. I apologize. For real, I'm sorry. I won't interrupt your intros anymore. I apologize.
Japanese, but okay.
Very much so.
Right. Okay, so I seen, right, you can hear our giggling in the background on us, right? But notice prior to the actual podcast, we could see her, and now we're back to her picture. She don't give a fuck about us.
And look, and she flipped it as soon as I hit record too. She was like, nope, bitch, not the day. She was like, nope, not the fucking day.
Right?
Okay, y'all want me to turn it back on?
I mean, I'm just saying, you was looking like one of those like famous podcaster TikTok people. Like you was just posted up in the car and shit. Like it was dope. Like what's that one dude who made his wife sit down?
Fuck him and what he stands for.
Absolutely fucks what he stands for. Well, no, can we really say that now? Because he did do some fuck shit. So
but the reason is fuck him is because he made a career off of saying shit that he would like. Oh, never mind. I can't even get into it. You know how many never mind. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna stop. Sorry.
I would like you to finish one of those statements though.
I couldn't, because you know what? It was gonna go left. And I'm really trying to be better. I'm trying not to go left so much about shit that makes me mad. So I'm trying to be better. You do better, you know better, you do better. That shit.
Well, how about you just put a cape on it and be super mad and say what the fuck you need to say?
One, I can't stand that motherfucker. And he still has supporters and followers.
Derrick Jackson, that's his name.
I wasn't gonna say it out loud. That nigga like Beetlejuice. You say that shit too many times, that motherfucker like pop up somewhere.
It's all good. I don't mind. I'll talk to the motherfucker. I want to know.
But what do you want to know?
I want to know, how does it feel? I'm sorry.
In there with them little bitty ass t-shirts sitting in the car. He was either going to cheat or leaving from cheating. One of the two, trying to make videos talking about, if he don't respect you, queen, you need to get your fucking steroid infested ass up out of here.
You sound mad, man.
I am fucking mad. You know how many motherfucking women that showed me these motherfucking videos? He preaching the truth. Nah, that nigga preaching what you want to hear. That's what the problem is. Motherfucker just saying what the fuck you want to hear, and you eating it up because you stupid too.
Somebody angry.
I'm fucking hostile as fuck right now. See, you did this shit on purpose. You did it, and then what your punk ass gonna do? Then you gonna segue into the topic, and now I'm gonna look like a fucking asshole. I hate you so fucking much. I knew what you was doing. I knew what you were doing, and it pissed me off, and I couldn't hold it in, and it made me mad.
So let's talk about the instability in the Black community in regards to mental health.
I'm not as angry as I appear to be. I'm really very calm. It's just certain shit triggers me, and it is a trigger, and I'm sorry.
Particularly Black men's inability to be expressive in the Black community and keeping things bottled up.
And then you turn into me, where you get on a podcast and you just erupt about some shit that shouldn't even be erupted about. Like, he really, like, that shit really triggered me, and it made me mad. It really made me mad. Oh, all right.
Or are you going to be okay, though?
I'm cool now. You know, once I get it off my chest, I'm good.
Okay. I mean, if that's what you say.
I mean, you know, hey.
I feel like once the podcast is over, we're going to go back to this topic, and you're going to be real hostile.
This is not over, because I have way more to say, but I'm just trying to get the podcast rolling, because I don't need people to see.
Well, technically, okay, so real shit, the podcast is rolling. We say what we talking about the way we want to talk about it at the end of the day. So I ain't no, there ain't no script to be had. We freestyling out here, like old school, on the corner. Everybody sitting there, like, pass the mic. Yeah. Get it.
Like, I really don't like him. Like,
but why don't you like him? This is a complete detraction from what the fuck we're actually supposed to be talking about. But why don't you like him?
I don't like him because, okay, one, he made a career of telling women what they wanted to hear while simultaneously tearing down Black men. Every one of his videos, there has not been a video that man has not been in where he has told women what they wanted to hear while simultaneously tearing down Black men. Why? Do you know this mother wrote a book about how to have a successful marriage while actively cheating on his wife? Then the motherfucker came out with an apology, had this bitch looking like Momo the Clown on his side. Didn't put the bitch in makeup, didn't fucking make her look presentable or nothing. Just put her on there and was like, I apologize. I have to look to God and to the heavens to fix my relationship. I do not have to answer to anyone. You fucking dumb, slow-mo looking motherfucker. God damn, you piss me off.
You gonna be okay, bro?
No. Nah. You made me mad. How you make a career off somebody else's suffering? Ugh.
A lot of people do it.
I can tell, because a lot of people are making money out of this shit. He wrote a book. He had seminars, bro. Seminars. Ugh. That's crazy.
Yeah. Again, I ain't mad at him.
I'm not mad at him. I hate him. There's a difference.
I don't hate him. I'm like, the simple-minded bitches who bought into it, that's on them. And the dumbass dudes that the shit affected. I mean, if a motherfucker who pop up on the video for 2 to 10 minutes can convince your bitch you fucked up and you can't convince her that you not, you are fucked up.
Oh my God.
I mean, can you not see that as a real thing?
Oh,
I spend 24 hours a day with you. I put food on the table. I fuck you. I take care of the kids. I go to see your fucking whack ass family.
Jesus.
But this dude made a video, and now you telling me I ain't shit fuck you, bitch. Go on about your business.
It's just so wild, man. It's like, and the way you put it made it even worse, because that is true. Like, you let a motherfucker come on there and literally a 5-minute video sitting in his car and tell you
on the way to cheat on his bitch.
Exactly. And y'all motherfuckers was just like, y'all was all team Derek Jackson. All team.
Mm-hmm. He's sitting in the car, dirty dick like a motherfucker, talking to these hoes, and they buy that shit up.
And y'all just eating this shit up. I mean, like, eating it up. Like, shit is wild.
Okay, so look, we was talking before the podcast, right? So instead of just doing the KS podcast, how about we do the fresh and fit KS Derek Jackson podcast and compare them all and what their effects have been on the community?
That could work.
Yeah, I'm down.
That's coming. Yeah, everybody, if y'all want to have feedback or be invited, because I would love to have a guest when I'm discussing any of these people. Because I'm gonna hurt some motherfucking feelings. Yes.
You've hurt a lot of feelings.
And I don't want, okay, caveat, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I just want a peaceful exchange of ideas and quality dialogue between us.
Cap.
However, comma, ... I do like to engage when someone is fucking stupid from time to time. This sign of a beautiful person is that they always see beauty in others.
Stop reading the shit behind me. Stop reading. Stop. See, now you know what you've done. You know what you've done now. You know what effectively you have just done by doing that. Now, whenever I post this shit, now people are gonna be looking at the background instead of looking and focusing on what the fuck we saying. So now everybody's like, what does that say? Oh, look at that.
Well, unless you change that fucking sign, I should hope they don't have to keep rereading the motherfucker.
Well, you really don't ever know. You don't know. We really don't know.
You got a rotating room or some shit? You gonna be swapping out the pictures? The fuck?
What?
Do the room spin and the shit is hit from a different angle?
You don't know who be watching these videos, man. We don't know. We don't know who's watching what.
Well, it depends on the platform because we can see.
Yeah, what's on the other wall, Mookie? What that say?
In our, you know what? Never mind. I'm not even gonna read that one. Look, that one right there is actually worse than that one right there. Wait. Look. Jesus. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get back to the podcast.
I didn't think anything was bad about the sign of a beautiful person is that they always see beauty in others. I thought that was dope. I thought that was inspiring that you would have that there in your home, like reminding you to be a good person instead of the asshole you fucking clearly are.
The fuck just happened? First off, you know what? You know what? Nope. First off, let me tell everybody, I'm the nicest person here.
Wrong.
By far.
Wrong.
By far.
No, I am.
We definitely not going with that.
Debatable.
You're not even in the running.
Look, hands down of the three of us, of the three that are right here right now, I am clearly the nicest.
Disagree.
You have that right, sir. Doesn't mean you're right. You can disagree all you want. You're wrong. Wrong. You are wrong.
I'm correct.
You are very incorrect, good sir. You are very incorrect. I am by far the nicest person. I'm a sweetheart.
Okay, maybe we will settle for you are the least confrontational, but we are not going with the nicest.
What? I treat everybody with kindness and dignity, no matter what.
It sounds like you're reading something.
Shh.
I'm the nice.
What? That wasn't scripted at all. That was from the heart. That was all from the heart. Anyway, what's going on with you guys?
Well, okay. I guess we need to actually get to the topic.
I know, right? Like, but I am
okay.
nice.
Stop. Just listen. Stop. Don't do that again.
My bad. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, because we're not doing it. So mental health. I'm not, typically when we have one of these debates, conversations, dialogues, I start getting real technical. I'm not even gonna get super technical unless I have to get technical. I'm not gonna talk about the DSM. Everybody knows what the DSM is, I'm assuming. I'm more, oh, well, no, I'm just saying, like, I'm saying DSM. That is not for y'all to comment on. That is so anyone who comes upon the dialogue understands. I will make a reference from an actual medical standpoint, position, terminology, a manual designated specifically for the practice of medicine, not the common lexicon, not the common understanding of some shit. So they can go reference that. They are free to, like someone who may want to debate, like someone may hit you up because they don't have the gall, audacity, or courage to hit me up and want to dispute something. I'm just going to say, if you didn't look in the DSM first, I don't want to fucking talk to you about it. Like, but just having the conversation amongst ourselves, that's another thing. You know what I mean? Like, so, like the classification of mental disorders, that's what's in the DSM. All of them, if it's recognized by medicine. So I'm not going to get all super technical. We're just going to have a conversation about any and all mental disorders and how they present and how they adversely impact us in our community, in our day-to-day lives, and in our relationships with everyone, like children, parents, companions, so on and so forth. Like clearly I'm a proponent of therapy, although most Black folks don't have access to traditional therapeutic measures like counseling and things of this nature due to the stigma that's placed on mental health in our community. Because it's typically seen as a weakness. Like we are about trauma. Boy, I tell you. Like, you just gotta stop being a little bitch and tough it up, because this happens to everybody. So wait, what you're telling me is we're all fucked up. That's what I hear when people say that. So what's y'all individual stance on seeking out therapy, or when someone tells you that something you're doing is problematic or can be seen, or people can recognize particular traumas in you that we've grown accustomed to just carry it.
Me personally, I am a huge advocate for going and sitting down and sharing with somebody. We all got a lot of burdens, and some burdens are worse than others. Some people's burdens are worse than others, and so and just like Dee said, like it is a very bad stigma, especially in the Black community, especially within Black men. Like Dee said, it's always suck it up, push on. You know, we don't get the leeway that a lot of people get, black men and shit like that. So I'm a very huge proponent of going to get the help that is needed. And I always tell people when I talk to them, they come to me with their problems and they tell me shit, I'll be like, you know, it's cool that you're talking to me, but you need to get real help, because so often than not, we like to talk to each other. And I'm not saying that doesn't help. I'm not saying that talking to somebody else does not help. However, like, it's only so much that we can do. Because I'm going to tell you something. You ask me for advice, I always end with the same thing, but that's me though. So that way, just in case some shit go wrong, I'll be like, look, you made that decision on your own. Because you don't truly know what a motherfucker is going through. You truly don't know what a person is carrying. And we don't open up a lot. Like, I'm only going to speak for myself without getting too personal. Like, so me personally, I don't tell a lot of people shit. I'll lie to you before I tell you the truth about some shit, like real talk. You will never know the full story. I will lie. I will tell you anything. Like, I once told a chick was getting too fucking close to me. She was asking me all this personal shit. And this is gonna be funny because this is how I deal with my trauma. I make jokes. I told her that I grew up in foster care because I just got tired of her asking me stupid questions. Like, she wanted to get to know me, and I like to know me. Like, my traumas is just too much for you to bear, and I know people whose traumas are too much for me to bear. So everybody has their own world on their shoulders. So to talk to somebody, to get to know somebody, is a lot to take on their traumas and who they are, to understand who they are as a person. Because that's what it means to really get to know somebody. And that's why it's hard, man. It's hard to talk to people about the shit that you've gone through. I look at some people and some of the traumas that they go through, I wonder how the fuck they even get out of bed sometimes. I'd be like, that shit's wild to me. And it makes you rethink your problems. But like Dee always said, like, the worst thing that happened to me is the worst thing that happened to me. So that is my trauma. So I have to deal with that. But it may not be the worst thing that happened to the next person. So I think everybody should get out of this fucking thing about being strong, not crying. Like, it's so frowned upon in our society about talking and crying and feeling emotions. It's just like, yo, suck that shit up. And that's the stigma. Like, you gotta suck that shit the fuck up, and you gotta keep moving. Every day, you gotta get up and you gotta go to work. You gotta make shit happen regardless of how you feel every single day. And that shit takes a toll on you.
At first I was afraid. I was petrified.
And see, and that right there and I'm not saying that's Dee's mechanism, but that's mine. Like, Dee, I've known Dee. Dee knows that, like, you got to break that shit up sometimes. Like, because too much of it is just like, it gets weird. And that's what we do. And that's why I talk to D. D is my therapist sometimes, but also I know that D has his own shit to go through too. So I don't tell D every fucking thing. And I will say again that I actually go and see a therapist at least once a month because I have a lot of deep shit in me. As you can see from the beginning of this podcast, obviously I have very serious anger issues. I just don't like stupid shit. So I guess. Anywho, that got real personal. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut up now. See if I'm finna shut up now because now I got real. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking. I'm not crying or nothing.
All right. You're not talking to us, Ari. You're being quiet. Listen, okay, Ari. We're making you talk because motherfuckers keep telling us that you don't talk enough. Like we trying to shut you out.
Yeah, we do get a lot of hate mail. Well, I get a lot of hate mail. I ain't gonna say D gets it, but I get a lot of hate mail because they be like, why y'all don't ever let her talk? I'll be like, ain't nobody stopping her. I don't stop shit. I just hit the record button.
No, right now I'm trying to order some lemonade. So I'll give y'all time. I'm gonna talk. I'll talk. Just give me 1 second.
She said she was trying to order some lemonade. Was that a Beyonce metaphor?
Right. That's what I felt. I felt like that was straight up Beyonce shit.
I feel like you finna use all this against us. That's why I don't talk. That's really why I don't talk. Well, let me tell you. Okay. All right. This is my only personal story that I'm gonna tell. Right. So
I bet you it's not, but continue.
I hate you with the intensity of like 1,000 suns. Like you are no longer the wind beneath my wings anymore.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay. Another real reason why we as men don't open up is because at one point we did open up.
Did you say trifling ass bitches is going to try to use it against you? Just get to the point.
Oh my God.
He made my point for me. Yes, that's what happened. That's why we as men do not open up anymore. And
that's why I'm the nicest one. Because see how you was dragging that out? You effectively sticking the hot poker in a motherfucker's eyeball over a long period of time. Where I just jab the shit in. So I make the pain go away infinitely faster.
But we both killed somebody.
I didn't say nothing about killing. I said stick the hot poker in somebody's eye. You can live through that.
Depends on how far you go.
Why is death on your mind?
Well, my bad. That's why I go sit down and talk with somebody. There you go. Do you see what you get? Do you see what you get when you mess with the warrior? But it's real though. Like every man that does not show emotion once showed his emotions too much. Once opened up to the wrong motherfucker at the wrong time. And that was it. And that's all it takes. I'm gonna tell you something, ladies. All it takes is for one time for you to fuck up. That's it. He may not leave you, he may not, but he is definitely going to change the way he talks to you moving forward. Once you show a man he can't be vulnerable around you, no, that shit's a wrap. I mean, you get a wall. You get a fucking stone wall. And then you'll be asking, well, why don't you talk to me? Why, bitch? So you can use it against me later? No, I'm good. Pass.
Sure.
That's what everybody does.
Tabernacle.
Not everybody. Not everybody.
Yeah. I can't. I would, you know what? I would concede to your point if I wasn't 100% sure you didn't do it at one point in your life.
I haven't.
I want to believe you.
You don't know. I am so far from the typical female. You just don't know that yet.
And you know,
I would never do that to anybody.
And honestly, I've heard women say that too. I'm not attacking you by no stretch of the imagination. You may be right.
So,
you you may be right.
No, you have to think. I'd not be here.
She said drop the attic, nigga.
If I
was. Why are you why were you instigating?
She said pull up, bitch.
My thing is this. I guarantee you, if you were to ever think back on any relationship that you have ever been in your life, there has been a time when a man has said something to you, he has opened up emotionally to you, to where you have taken that and therefore instinctively used it against him, whether intentional or unintentional, you have done it. And that man has never looked at you the same.
I'm not a spiteful bitch. No. No. I
challenge. Okay, I will concede, because I can't prove or disprove the theory. I can't prove or disprove it. However, I will say, okay, since 99.9% of women have done this before, whether intentional or unintentional, whether they meant to cause harm. Damn, that was very country. Whether they meant to cause harm or not. And that's just a fact of life. And men do the shit too. Well, not as much as women do, but however, come on. Women live for that shit. Women are like cerebral assassins, and they will take some shit you said years ago and bring it up. And I just be like, I don't understand how any of that shit is relevant to what the fuck we talking about today, but it's cool. So, mental health. It's bad in the Black community. We need to raise awareness.
So I'm eliminated. So I'll say that just like everybody else, I'm an extreme advocate for talk about mental health. I have mental health issues, and I've been in counseling for like 6 years straight, and off and on for the past 2.5 years. I think it's important to understand who you are, understand what you've been through, and deal with emotions. Because whatever you go through, you don't want anybody to be affected by it. Whether to go to therapy or take medicine, whatever, to make sure you're okay.
And there she went.
Did it go away?
Oh, wait, no, she's back.
What happened?
Oh, we don't know.
Oh, we're just as lost as you are.
Somebody don't want me talking. That's it.
Oh my God. They had to shut you down. It's all you. Okay, there you go.
Okay. And the stigma, I agree, is being weak. And I think the only way to get through that is talking to a professional. And I don't understand. Well, with Black people, pray about it. Go to church. sometimes that'll fuck you up more than what you were before because they don't know what they're talking about. Not always.
Not never.
It's like you did bring up an interesting point about the whole church thing. Is that is their go-to thing? Is like shit's wild to me. I'm like, I don't understand it. It's like the first thing they do is say you need to sit down and pray about it. Okay, but again, I'm not an avid Bible reader. However, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it says like faith without work is dead. Because I'm not perfect. I could be wrong. So to me, I was saying that like you still need to go get fucking help. You can pray about it all day, but if you don't make no moves to make shit happen, what's the point of praying about it? If I pray for a job but don't ever fill out a fucking job application, what's the point?
Right?
I'm just saying, maybe I'm fucked up. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that comment. I can already feel it in my bones. I can already feel that shit go trickle down.
I think
Oh, well.
there's going to be some negative pushback from this particular podcast.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One, don't nobody want their fucking dirty laundry aired out in the light at all.
I don't have no dirty laundry. I ain't fucking Kelly Rowland out here.
Okay, calm down. Calm down. That shit turned left. Was that a Kelly? Wait, was that a song from her?
Yes.
I don't know.
I would say kill yourself, but that would be really inappropriate on this podcast.
Oh shit. Yo, that's crazy. That would have took a dark turn, wouldn't it?
I guess technically it kind of fucked it up because I did still say it, but who's gonna check me?
Don't you fucking finish it. Don't you fucking finish it. Don't you fucking finish it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Okay.
I felt like you were still finna do it.
It was coming. No,
I knew it was like
coming.
I felt that pause. It was like, oh, I gotta stop that shit right now. Oh man, I don't know, man. It's wild, man. And like I said, there's different ailments that afflict the Black community that people just don't want to talk about. They want to lock it away like it's a secret. And that's the problem.
Well, I don't think it's a secret. I think that everybody isn't well versed in quite a few of the topics. Like, I'll throw some names out here, just names. Feel free to look motherfuckers up if you would like to. Don't care. Dr. Joy DeGruy. Feel free. Listeners, type it in. It'll pop up. Understand. She has made a career on a particular topic that plays a part in the traumas that the Black community suffers through. I'm not going to get into it. This is not the podcast for it. But check out the information. It is on you.
And that's the issue, is that, just like you said, I think a lot of people don't want to educate themselves on certain things. They don't want to. They want to ignore it. And that's just what it is. And like, instead of learning about it, educating yourself, and trying to seek the help, they rather just ignore it. They rather drink, do drugs, all this other weird shit to numb the pain instead of trying to fix it. Well, it's wild, man.
I don't need to be fixed. Fuck you. I resent that.
I mean, you took it personally. I can't really. I can't do nothing with it. I don't. It was definitely not aimed towards you. It was definitely not aimed towards you, but is. I mean, everybody's got their vices, but you know, too much of one thing is never good. Well, I don't know how to finish that. I don't know how to finish that statement. Wait. Too much of a bad thing is not good. There we go. That was the best way I could put that. Because you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
Like this mental health as a whole is always an interesting topic. Like there's so many different technical terms and afflictions that ail the community and the members of it. And for years, obviously, we weren't afforded the benefit of being considered human beings. So the traumas weren't addressed and they were passed down. And the ways to deal with them were passed down. But now we're getting to a point where the shit needs to seriously be addressed. Like eating disorders in the Black community. They're viewed completely different than they are in the larger community. That's just factual information. PTSD in the Black community, well, CPTSD in the Black community, viewed infinitely different than it is in the larger community. Depression disorders and anxiety disorders are viewed completely different. Fuck, autism. Like, I mean, you gotta remember, growing up, I'm pretty sure some of those children that we came across in our day-to-day lives were on the spectrum. But the dealing with it during the time frame we was growing up, they was beating the autism out of kids. Let's just keep it a buck.
Real shit.
Like, cause if it was the early 90s, late 80s, and you was in your grandma's house stacking up her motherfucking cans, counting them out of the pantry, you was about to get fucked up. like that wasn't finna be no goddamn debate.
It was real. It is very, like, the shit is true, man. Like, there was a lot of shit that you look back on now and you just think to yourself, like, well, shit. Well, I'll be damned.
Like, shit, the sexual traumas that were, I'm not gonna say they're exclusive to, but they are very common in the Black community. You know, with the young chick who got to sit down with Uncle Touchy during Thanksgiving every year because it's her uncle and nobody wanted to tell on grandma's kid. Like, you know, sexual traumas, abuse traumas, fuck, physical, psychological, mental, emotional abuse, all of those traumas. At this point, as an advocate for mental health, I just feel like everybody should probably go talk to a motherfucker. And while you are at the point now where you're saying you're going once a month, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm really a proponent of once a week.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same way about like when I was growing up, I had this issue with the quote unquote counselor people who would come to the hood and pretend that they was providing some alternative to the negative criminal shit we were doing, like an hour or 2 hours out of the week was going to negate the 24 hours a day, other 6 days out of the week that we were actively surrounded by horrible fucking circumstances. Like the arrogance of those people to believe that 2-hour reprieve from my regular life was going to actually make a difference was interesting. And if that was my stance, then it has to be my stance now. So the traumas we live with and the traumas we deal with on a day-to-day basis probably need to be addressed and unpacked a little bit more frequently than we would care to fucking admit, in every sense of the word.
I 100% agree with you. It's real. And
then you also gotta talk to someone. And look, I'm not even saying that you got to go to a professional, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need to really unpack what the fuck it is you're dealing with. And it's probably easier to talk to a professional who can properly diagnose the problems that you're fucking dealing with than it would be someone else. But just having a support system in general is a definite necessity. However, when you start to look at it in a real way, you have to think the shit you're going through is probably easier unpacked to a stranger than it is to the people who help cause the fucking trauma.
And there you go. And there you go. Right there. That was it.
So I am a fan of professional counseling. I don't want nobody to think that I'm saying that that's not the case. Like, I'm definitely a fan of professional counseling, but get yourself in a support group. Get yourself, not that corny self-help. I got a certificate off the internet type shit, because I can get one of those and I can tell you to do some crazy shit to get over your shit. But like, I'm definitely not fucking saying that. I'm saying you need some assistance. And everybody does not have access. I mean, once again, another thing in the Black community is about preventive medicine. Because if most of us don't have access to preventive medicine and preventive care, you can't reasonably believe that we have access to psychiatric care. Like that would, that kind of goes without saying. Like if we don't have medical insurance for actual physical ailments and diabetes and high blood pressure, hypertension, and cancer and shit goes undiagnosed because we truly do not have the resources for that. You have to understand that also means I'm aware that we don't have the resources to go fucking sit down and talk to nobody at $100+ a fucking hour.
Facts.
Which is why I'm a fan of, the group counseling, finding those groups that can help you deal with the traumas that you face. And recognize, some of the traumas. And I'm not saying get on Google and look up every little thing that you go through, because you ain't no goddamn doctor either. So like,
right.
Definitely not fucking saying that.
Yourself.
Yeah, like that self-diagnosis shit ain't finna cut it. You probably need to really talk to some fucking body. Like, and I understand the whole podcast took a real serious turn, kind of whack. Not even my bag.
But that's what it does. Like, that's what happens, bro. It's weird, because when you start talking about the shit, it has to get serious to a certain degree, because that's the problem too, is that we joke about it. We joke about it because we've lived through it. And it's rough to try to live through some trauma. Like, a lot of us don't have the opportunity, like you said, the opportunity to go get help. So we had to cope with shit however we could cope with it. We had to deal with it in whatever way we could just to survive. And it shows too, like with mental health, like it shows, like, just like you said, in your relationships, in your day-to-day life. Like, this shit affects everything it touches. But people don't want to acknowledge it. It's just easier to blame the other person. Like, my shit, I know I got fucked. Like, I ain't gonna say it's all me. I would concede to 45% of all my failed relationships were my fault. 45%. 45% was me. What? I'm being for real. The other percentage was them and their stupidity. Because my thing is this, it takes a lot.
I want to say something, but that last person didn't like me, and she probably gonna listen, so I'm not gonna say nothing.
Oh yeah, look, real shit. She listens to every single one of them. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well,
But-
okay, I never had a problem with you outside of what you did to my brother.
Thank you. That's it. Like, and okay.
And I've always been easily accessible, and you could have hit me up at any given time, and I would have told you exactly what was going on, because I was a proponent for Black love and Black marriage, and I wanted that shit to work like a motherfucker.
And I said that, and I've.
But you wanted to be my motherfucking enemy.
Exactly. You chose to be combative with somebody that was in your corner. That was
Team
in
you.
your corner. In your corner. But you went out of your way to make
To
it
hate me.
Yes, for
To
no
talk
fucking
shit.
reason. For no reason. And it's not, and honest to God, and like this is real shit. Okay. In a rare fucking moment. Like the shit that went down shouldn't have went down the way that it did. But that person was so narcissistic, so bad that you could not see what it was. Like D, there has not been a time. Like I say, D, literally, no shit. He is part of my support system. Whatever I go through, whatever I deal with, I talk to D. I try to tone down the shit that I talk to D about, but however, D is my support system. When I was dealing with the shit that I was dealing with, D always told me, hey man, look, this is what it is. Try this, try this, try this. D never came into any situation and was like, fuck you, you're dumb. Like shit is wild. And this is what really fucking irked my nerves about my relationships and shit now. Is that D has never, when I introduce people to D, that D understands it and I understand it. That's something big. Because D does not talk to everybody. I don't let D talk to everybody. I don't. So when I give you the opportunity to talk to him and you fuck it up.
Because you're ashamed of me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
See, that's not inaccurate either. I mean, it is a little bit of both. It is a little bit of both. It's like, because I respect D's opinion on a lot of shit. I do. Now, this goes back to the original podcast that we was talking about. Like, I respect D's opinion and I will listen to D's opinion. However, I will go my own route if necessary. But as we have learned in the past, and you know, if once you know better, you do better. I've learned to listen to D because D is wise counsel. People may not think it. People may look at D and be like, "Oh, nope, don't listen to that motherfucker. He don't know what he's talking about." D has lived a life that you motherfuckers dare not dream of. Real talk. And so when he says it, it comes from a place of knowledge. It don't come from a place of malice or discontent. It is a place of knowledge. So I have learned to listen to him when he tells me to do something. And I'll be like, yep, I gotta stop fucking. I ain't gonna say I don't say I listen to him all the time, but I still do what I want to do sometimes. I still fuck up in some situations I don't need to be fucked up in. But I digress. He has never did anything to hinder or hurt anything. You bitches do that shit. Y'all do it. You just prove him right. That's the problem. And that's what y'all fail to realize, is that y'all just prove it right. Y'all prove him right.
Okay. Wait. No. They prove my stance right.
Stance right. Correction. You're right.
Like my stance is my stance. My advice and my counsel may go against my particular stance because I don't necessarily want my belief to be pushed onto everyone. Like that's not where I be at with it. I'm like, yo, do this because you have to take into consideration that you was raised different. Y'all came from different backgrounds. She may have a different perspective. You're looking at things from your perspective. She doesn't have all the information, blah, 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 blah. And then they go and do some dumb shit. Or some extra over the top shit that ain't fucking required. But anyway, if you're listening, I never had a problem with you. Ever. Even when I heard you say horrible things while I was on the phone about me, I never even bothered to, I even say, don't defend me. If that is the position she needs to have to make the relationship better, accept it. But no.
It was bad. It was so bad. That shit. You want to talk about mental health? Like, dude, that shit put me, that shit right there. That was some mental health issues for your ass. Like, that was some shit right there. Effectively, that, and I have been married twice. Personal shit, fucking twice. That last
Told
one, yo, is wait, I can't even finish my statement. It is amazing at all that I have survived as long as I have. Like, for real. Wait, let me rephrase. Not on some killing myself shit. I'm sorry. Hold on, my bad. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, right. The mental health part.
Right. I had to catch myself. Hold on, wait. Not as in I was going to kill myself or anything like that. It was just more of the walls go up. Like with each thing, the wall goes up. It goes up higher and higher until you're yourself. Like then you're something. Then you've turned into something different. And then now you're looking for shit in the wrong places. You're looking at shit wrong. You're looking at it wrong. You're thinking about it wrong. And it's just what happens. And it's weird. It's hard. All that shit plays a part. Like your upbringing, your family dynamic. Like just like Dee said, like your upbringing, the way you look at life in general, all that shit plays a part. And it doesn't help when you have a mental disorder that people don't think affects you, but it does. Like depression is real, anxiety is real, PTSD is real. And it's just not from combat. Like you can have PTSD and just living your day-to-day life. Like that's another thing that people don't realize. People think PTSD is fucking combat related shit. Like life is combat in itself. Every day you get up, you gotta fight a battle. You gotta fight people at work. You gotta fight people at home. Like fuck that. That shit's wild.
Okay, so let me caveat what Mookie said real quick. Just real quick. Mookie's talking about PTSD. PTSD is post-traumatic stress syndrome, right? At the end of the day, we most commonly associate that with combat and a particular stressful event. However, in the medical field, there is something called CPSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which means that you have a series of things that have occurred to you over a particular time, and the coping mechanism you use is not a particular event that triggers you. So that's what the C is, this complex. It means a set of things, not just the simple, I hate to say that, but the combat related stress, like, okay, yes, motherfucker shooting at you, tripping, shit's wilding out, and the fireworks come, and you have that event triggers what happened in the other event. Now, magnify that by 1,000 and understand that all of the traumatic events that culminated to get you to where you are now, you have particular triggers as well that may exasperate those. Okay, go, Ari.
Okay. As far as growing up, definitely agree with what Mookie said. So from the time I can remember, whenever something was going on with me, suck it up, keep it moving. Don't let anybody see you hurt. Okay. Any sign of that, you're considered weak. And where I grew up, you were considered a target for somebody to jump on you, right? So certain other shit happened to me. So as a little kid, I didn't know it at the time. I'd always been depressed from shit that happened. So what happened? Going to school, she had an attitude problem. I don't know what's wrong with her. She's not approachable. She's not likable. Instead of just asking, what's wrong with you? What's going on? What happened? Nope. Had that label as long as I can remember. Even now, she has like the attitude. She's not the nicest person, but I've been through some shit. I have PTSD. I have anxiety. I have depression. Majority of people don't know that. So that's another thing with Black women. You're supposed to be strong, not just with Black men. You're always labeled as having an attitude instead of somebody asking, are you okay? Nobody cares because you're supposed to be strong.
And that's the stigma in the Black community. But I feel as though, however, I will say, I feel as though Black women are afforded more opportunities to appear vulnerable than men do. Because if a man cried in front of you right now, instantaneously he is a punk in the thought process. Not saying you think that, but women in general. If a man cries, he's a punk. If a man is overly sensitive, he's a punk. But now you take the opposite side of that. If a man don't show any emotion, he's closed off. He's standoffish. He's a bully. He's mean. Just like you said, like when women are shown as being tough and they're standoffish, they're like, oh, she's evil. Oh, she's sassy. Like, but these are the stigmas that we place ourselves. Like, we do this ourselves. These stigmas come from us. And we've made them to where they're pronounced even more so in the community. Like, it's crazy because to show emotion has always been deemed weakness, men and women. So we walk around with this suit of armor until we break down. And the thing is, nobody ever sees us break down because it's a sign of weakness. And it's sad. And we don't have nobody to talk to about it. So what do? We keep doing the same.
Everybody needs to go to therapy.
Be stupid. I don't even know what the fuck you saying, but I knew it was stupid.
We cry together.
What? Hey, wait. What Life just say? Crying is like sending your soul to the laundromat.
To the laundromat.
You have to cry. You have to, man. It's like you gotta send soul to the laundromat. Because I'm telling you, if you don't, that shit gonna erupt and it's gonna come out somewhere. And it's not gonna, now depending on the person and the situation, it could be good or bad. I've seen some
Well, I
bad
told
shit
you I
happen.
identify as transracial, and I can't be crying because it'll make my makeup run.
I don't want to do this podcast with you no more. Like, I don't. I just don't. I don't want to do it. I don't want to podcast. I don't want to podcast with you no more. I'm done. I'm out. I'm done. I'm fucking done with you. What did you did you just fucking I hate you? Fucking hate you. Ugh. Oh my god. So mental health is fucking is very serious, man. And it's like, and we don't know the extent or the depth of people's mental health issues because we don't talk about it.
Right. I think it's also another form of division.
Yeah. I mean, it's. Oh, you broke up.
It's another form of division because instead of thinking, okay, they might have mental health, all that shit turned into a fucking argument.
That's true too.
And people in a context where my pain is worse than yours.
And that's another thing.
There's no understanding. There's no compassion. There's no communication.
You're right. Now, sometimes that shit is true. Like sometimes some people's issues are just way more severe than other people's issues. Sometimes you gotta concede to some shit. Like I get what you're saying, and you're 100% correct. It's wild. Because it's just like nobody wants to, it's wild, man. It's like nobody knows. Like, and people will continue to, as long as the conversation continues to not be had, we will continue to see the stigma in our community. And not the weirdo self-diagnosis shit, not the I'm gonna go on MedMD and I'm gonna be like, I show signs of depression. It's like, no, it's go physically, like go talk to somebody, sit down,
Go get some help, bitch.
Like for real, go get some help, bitch. And it's wild. Like everybody has their stories, and some people are stronger than others, and some people can carry their weight better than others. Some people can't. Some people can't carry their weight at all, and some people they choose. And again, I'm probably gonna catch a lot of hate, but some people choose the other way, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. But I had to learn that shit the hard way. Is like when you decide that you're gonna take your own life, like your pain stops, but your pain transfers to somebody else every single time. And that's just how I feel about it. And again, that comes from personal experience. Like you don't never know somebody else's shit. You don't know somebody else's demons. That's why I'm a fucking large advocate. I said it before like that. Yo, go talk to somebody. Like talk. Whatever the case may be. Whether it be a stranger, if you can't talk to your family, talk to a friend. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Because the shit's real. Again, my defense mechanism is laughter. So don't judge me.
Oh, side note, I am not 100% on board with psychotropic drugs to eliminate these issues. Not even gonna harp on it.
Oh, are already said something, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, she said something.
My bad. I thought I hung up. I agree. All that medicine isn't good. Like I work with people like that, and a lot of them are fucked up because of their medicine from being on it too long.
Yeah, I'm an advocate for the healthcare system, for talking, counseling, group therapy, one-on-one therapy. I understand the psychotropic drugs may eliminate the immediate pain and some of the symptoms. However, I look at them like regular drugs. Like if your body is physically injured and you take a type of pain relief, pain is the body's way of telling you it needs time to heal. And when you subdue that pain, you ultimately do more damage to the body. While you may be able to function, long term, you are actually doing more damage. So if you start looking at mental health the same way you look at physical health, like if you tear a muscle and they give you a pain reliever that allows you to work through that torn muscle, the muscle still tore. The muscle was actually tearing more because you weren't giving it time to rest and heal. And when that motherfucker completely separates off of the bone, you're going to be in a world of shit, and you're possibly never going to be able to recover, or you won't be able to return to some sense of normalcy. So you look at mental health the same way, dosing motherfuckers and doping them up, allowing them to get through the day to day, and then they become addicted to said drug or unable to cope with life's things and ailments and obstacles on their own, and they become reliant on psychotropic drugs and medicines, and you can't function without it. And yes, that goes for you too. The people who just say, "Oh, I just like to smoke weed." No, you don't. Shut the fuck up, Cap. I'm still a fucking weed advocate, but I just want to put that out there.
You gotta cover all your bases.
I mean, that's real shit. I mean, because you think about it, most motherfuckers would be like, "Oh, well, I'm not addicted to weed. I just like to get high." Blah 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 blah. I mean, you gotta really put it into perspective, right? Like, if you're dealing with all of these traumas, and weed is your relief, and this is how you get your mind right, and then you grow, you develop a psychological addiction to that feeling, that weed, that escape. The problems are still the problems. The problems are still there. They're not going no motherfucking where. You just high right now.
That's true.
And when you ain't high no more, the problem's still there.
Exactly.
Right.
The motherfucker gonna be right there waiting for you when you come down off that high.
And depending upon what the problem is, the shit could be worse because you didn't fucking address it. Now, I ain't saying don't get high, because I'm a proponent of getting high. Knock yourself out. Not knocking nobody hustle. I'm saying understand if there's a deeper seated reason why you feel like you need to smoke every fucking day, while you budget $100 a day weed habit into rationale, and you wondering where the food's coming from. That's a problem. And you need to recognize it as a problem. And you might want to go talk to some fucking body. Keep smoking your weed, but you might want to go talk to some fucking body.
And at the end of the day, that is basically the end all be all of this is go get the fucking help. Stop trying to find these fucking workarounds to your mental health issues. Stop, because you're not going to. You're just gonna make a bad situation fucking worse. That's it. Like, go get the help. Talk to somebody, whoever it may be. Brothers, fucking sisters, best friends, fucking a professional. go and seek out somebody. Even if you don't even tell them nothing. Even if you don't even really tell them the full story. Talk to somebody. Because once you do that, you will feel a lot better.
Mental health is a real issue. That's all. You know.
It is. Yeah,
It's a very serious issue.
And it's crazy. And it's crazy how we just severely overlook it. As if it's
but it's listen, that's what I was saying earlier. It's not crazy that we overlook it. It actually makes perfect sense why it is overlooked. Because once again, I have to always add, we are the first generation with civil rights. So upon integrating into the larger society, the removal of Black professionals, Black doctors, and things of this nature, put us in a position where the folks who was oppressing us yesterday, they're now treating us today, but they don't have this. They don't have the same understanding that is required to properly treat us. We need more Black professionals. Like, we need more Black psychiatrists, more Black psychologists, more Black counselors. Like, this is a fact. This is a statement of fact. Because you can't really unask a lot of the information that occurred in your life and all of the traumas when you're sitting across the table from some white dude, especially women. Like, ain't, you know, right? Like, they not finna just go up in there and be like, "Hey, look." And I'm not even a fan of women counseling women, because women tend to tell women what they want to fucking hear. So more Black men need to become professionals in that particular field to give an honest assessment of what the fuck is going on. Like, you know, men, like, we come with the shit you was talking about earlier. I don't trust you. I don't trust you to not attempt to use this against me. If I have a breakdown moment and I'm in fucking tears and I'm having a moment of weakness, 3 weeks from now, you telling me about the time that I was crying like a little bitch curled up in the fetal position, and you feel like I needed my diaper change, bitch, I want to put my hands on you for saying that. So, you know, just keep that like a whole buck.
I'm gonna put my hands on you. I'm sorry. Right.
You said fuck it. So we need more Black professionals, because you got to think to yourself. The 60s is the end of civil rights. So I mean civil rights, and then you get the 70s with rampant poverty, and you have the 80s with the crack epidemic. You have the 90s super predator, the generation where we're coming of age type shit, and then you have the 2000s. Everybody's all kumbaya because the towers fell, and you know now we're here. Like, oh, and we had fucking a damn near a decade of the race conversation is over because Obama. Like, that's literally how fast all of this happened. So where is there time to put Black professionals in those positions to help the Black community? There isn't.
That's true too.
Right. Like, you know, you as a man, you know, going to go see that professional, I'm not finna sit across and unask all my fucking personal details. And there's just certain things I feel like don't need to be said. If he's Black and I'm Black, there's an unspoken understanding. When I walk in here, he understands those stresses. I don't have to unpack those stresses.
Exactly.
I can unpack my personal shit. Because he want to get into, oh, it was so traumatic you lived in the hood. Bitch, all of us lived in the hood. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't need to unpack that part. Maybe I do, but not right now. Let's talk about the personal shit. Let's get into what personally happened to me. Never mind the traumas of living in the environment that y'all created that I have to stay in. I don't want to have that fucking conversation with you, man. Exactly. So we need more Black professionals in the field to better help, at the end of the day. And it might be a benefit to have some Black women who aren't arrogant and conceited and narcissistic sitting across from us as well, because maybe we won't have the feeling like you have. Like if you met a Black female professional who didn't exhibit that, you may be able to move forward in certain other areas. Because if you meet one, they exist. Yeah, I mean, typically that's not the field they go into, though. Like, no matter how much they talk about, right, like they're professionals and they're getting the most degrees. No, they're not getting the most degrees. They're the most enrolled. They're not finishing. So they're not becoming doctors. They're not becoming counselors. Like, that's not the truth. That's based on fact and statistics and empirical data. Like, that's not what's happening. Like, yes, they enroll in school more. They get jobs. They're some of the most free women to ever exist, but they're not actively graduating and becoming doctors and shit like that.
That's real shit.
Right. So, that is part of the issue with the Black community as well. That's why, once again, when I'm specifically talking about the Black community, I'm not talking about the larger fucking society. That's irrelevant. Because when you're seen as the opposition, I can't continuously give you information that can be used against me.
That's real shit. That is real. And it's so hard. So hard.
Okay, Ari, come on. We'll close us out, Ari, because we've been talking for an hour and 28 motherfucking minutes. If I'm not mistaken, this is the longest one so far.
The same issues y'all have with opening up to different professionals, women have that problem too. Having trust issues, being taken advantage of, which can heighten whatever mental health issues that are already there. So any struggle that a man has in mental health, a woman has it too. I think we need to communicate more and have an open dialogue about what's going on with us instead of arguing, and focusing on healing and stop taking it out on each other.
Well said.
You're taking out nothing but my dick.
And there it goes.
Oh,
and there it goes. And on that note,
that was too serious. It was too much. It was too fucking much.
Look, I tell you, like, humor is the best defense mechanism that you could possibly ever have. You need to get you some of it because it works wonders. I was saying, because he effectively just broke that shit up too. Like, it was all serious and it was like dick, and it just made everybody laugh. Like, what the Anyway, well, again, we can talk about this subject forever because it's something that all three of us are very accustomed with. We all struggle with it, whether big or small, we all deal with it. Mental health issues, they affect every aspect of our lives. We can try to ignore it all we want to, but it's coming to a head where we're gonna have to start seeking the help that we need so that we don't pass on this shit to our children. So we don't keep the cycle of affliction going. So with that being said, D, you got anything you want to end on?
Man, get y'all motherfucking asses some help. Nah, you know what? Fuck that. Just get y'all some fucking help. I'm not finna debate who got it worse because I don't care. Get you some fucking help. I'll debate who got it worse another time. Get y'all some fucking help. Find a resource, use the resource, get the help you fucking need, and get the fuck over yourselves. Because ultimately, that's what it breaks down to. You got some issues that you are manifesting out here in the world that negatively or adversely impacts me. Trust me when I tell you that is not what you want.
That's not a threat. That's a fucking guarantee.
That is not what you want.
That's a fucking guarantee. All right, Miss Ari, you got anything you want to end off with?
Be honest with yourselves too. You can't be all fucked up and, be lying about it. Be honest. Go get some help. Heal.
And for me, I will caveat off what she said. Like, don't bleed on somebody that didn't fucking cut you. I think Dee said that to me once or twice, or maybe numerous
Yes,
times.
sir.
Yeah.
Stop bleeding all over motherfuckers who didn't cut you.
So go get the help, whatever it is. Do what you got to do for yourself and for others, because, like I said, you don't want to run up on D nowhere and fucking bleed on him, because it ain't what you want. It's not the problem. Anyway, this has been the No Filter Podcast. Remember to follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to email us at the No Filter Podcast 2022@gmail.com. And I was actually able to get through my outro without D saying something. I had to make sure I said something before we left. So again, the No Filter Podcast 2022@gmail.com. And we out this piece.